If you grew up with your needs met, your basic needs met, clothing, food, shelter, but you had your emotional needs neglected in a sense that your parents were really strict and they were looking to have safety for themselves through not having to worry about what you were doing or where you were or how you were being affected because it would affect them, that is actually a form of neglect. And I don't think, I know people have talked about this, I just don't think we talk about it enough. And if you weren't like, it's hard to explain because even if you were living like an upper middle class life, this can still happen, right? You get your needs met, but there's other needs that people have as humans, emotional needs that weren't being met because you were so sheltered and your parents were very strict and you just wanted to go to the birthday party or you just wanted to go to the game after school and it was always no, 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 no. That becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It becomes something that you really, it leaves a lasting impression on you. And I've told this story on here before about how I went on a college tour with my mom and on the way back, without any idea that this was going to happen, mind you, I was 17 years old. I had taken the SAT 2 times, maybe even 3, to get a high enough score on the math part to get a college scholarship, which I got for living and being a Florida resident. And, I could go to any public university, 75% paid with my GPA and this SAT score, whatever it was at the time. And she told me I'd have to pay for my dorm, my car, my food, everything. And I thought, well, that's new to me. How am I at 17 supposed to do that? And that was like their way, her and my dad's way of like trying to teach me a lesson, right? And it left this impression on me that anything I work for will get snatched away from me. And if you've gone through something like that, you're not a brat, you're not like being spoiled, but it leaves that impression on you in your psychology, and you may be carrying those patterns with you as an adult still because you've been through something like that. And that's just one example from me, one example of my childhood and how that affected me. But if you have any examples, leave them in the comments. And I'm talking about even if you grew up like you know your parents had the money, right? But it was like everything was just a no, as a way of them not dealing with their own anxieties or their own, I don't know, ideologies that they had, their mindset about the world. And that's part of what, an emotionally immature parent does. And it affects their children long term sometimes.